Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Prep Talk. I'm Russ Robinson, voice of the Jackson Prep Patriots. Last week, we had Lauren Markle on, who's the head coach for the volleyball team here, and she had some pretty tall orders to try to win the state championship, and really nobody picked them to do that, but they got real close, and we're going to have a report on the volleyball team tonight. Kennedy Cleveland and Reagan Reed put a nice piece together on volleyball. Also, Coach Matt Butts is going to be in. He's going to talk to us about what happened last Friday night as the Patriots took a 30-17 loss to Hartfield. We'll talk about that, but we'll also talk about MRA, which is next up for the Patriots. Doesn't seem like it gets any easier. It'll be at MRA, and you're going to want to be there at kickoff at 7. The pregame, of course, will be at 6 o'clock, but you're going to want to be there at MRA as the Patriots. This game's pretty big. It may say a lot about, well, it's probably going to say a lot of where we're going to stack up in the playoffs. Will we have a week off? Who are we going to play in that week off? If we have to play 3 games, who's that person going to be that we're going to have to play? So do we get a bye? So this game Friday night, while most MRA and prep games have a lot riding on it, as long as I've been doing this thing, which is now 21 years, this one may have as much or more riding on it than any MRA game that I've called, especially with the way those playoff teams are going to stack. So you're going to want to be there. All right, so we got a lot going on here on Prep Talk tonight, and we want you to sit back and relax and enjoy as we bring everything that is prep to you on Prep Talk. We'll be back with more in a moment.
There are all kinds of letters we need to remember, like ABC, ESPN. But here are some letters you need to remember as well. GAF. That is the best roofing products on the market today, and that's why David Wilbanks and Elite Roofing use GAF. When you deal with Elite Roofing, you know you're receiving the best product, best installation, and best warranty in the market. Call Elite Roofing at 601-856-9426. So when it comes to your roof, you are the letters
Southern Ag Credit has been financing life outside the city limits for over a century. Whether it's helping families own land they can grow with, or farmers manage the land they grow on, Southern Ag Credit specializes in financing life outdoors. Let us finance your rural dream. Visit us online at southernagcredit.com.
Jennifer Mooneyham and the staff at For the Family Healthcare provide personalized healthcare for all ages in a comfortable environment. With a new address at 112 Lake Vista Place in Brandon near Community Place Retirement Home, it is convenient to residents in both Madison and Rankin counties. Health services include anything from wellness checks to the treatment of acute and chronic illnesses. Visit For the Family Healthcare for all of your healthcare needs. For the Family Healthcare, 112 Lake Vista Place, Brandon, Mississippi.
The Rogue includes an in-store support of clothing, sportswear, and furnishings. They also provide made-to-measure services for suits, sport coats, pants, and shirtings. They have 3 in-house tailors to provide any alterations suitable for your clothing needs.
The Rogue has been dressing men and families in Jackson for over 50 years. Owned by a prep graduate, the Rogue supports Jackson Prep. Come by today and see the latest trends.
Located at 4450 I-55 North, Jackson, or visit our website at therogue.com.
Since 1968, Ewing & Ray has been leading the way as the area's premier foundation repair company. With our state-of-the-art equipment, licensed professional engineers, and certified technicians, we are able to ensure the right solution with the best warranty in the business. Whether you have drainage problems, need foundation repair, or need a specialized foundation system installed, for over 50 years, Ewing & Ray is a trusted source to ensure your home or business is safe and stable for years to come. Contact us today by visiting our website or giving us a call.
You haven't had good chicken until you've had Super Chicks. Super Chicks is made with 0 preservatives, 0 phosphates, and 0 dyes. There are many sauce options and a fresh new frozen custard every week. Everything is made 100% cooked to order, so it's very fresh. There's also many fry options such as salt, rosemary pepper, sweet, and Cajun. And don't let me forget the loaded fries. Super Chicks is a great place for prep friends and family to connect after events. and it's
So good.
Welcome back to Prep Talk. Joining me now is Matt Butts, who's a coach here at Jackson Prep. And Coach, we're doing this taping at a time, doing something that we don't normally do a lot, and that is talk about a game after we've lost a game. And you know, I think everybody going in knew how tough this 3-game stretch actually, but 2-game stretch with back-to-back Hartfield and MRA was going to be tough. That's just 2 tough ones to play in a row.
Oh, it definitely is. And, you know, we knew that Hartfield and MRA, you know, two of the best teams in the conference. Obviously, I think we're in that conversation as well. It's going to play out in the regular season. Obviously, we weren't satisfied with the results that we had Friday night. And it does make it tough to be able to flush that game immediately and turn right around and put all of your focus into getting ready for a very good MRA team.
Well, I've always heard that the bumps and bruises seem to last longer after you've lost a game.
100%. And, you know, very fortunate here at Jackson Prep, we don't lose just a whole lot. And so, you know, whenever we get that, it's kind of a humbling experience. And obviously on Monday, because it was the first time we got to see our players since the loss on Friday, we had a lot of corrections to make.
Really?
Oh, we had a lot of. We felt like Hartfield is a very, very good football team. I'm certainly not taking anything away from them, but particularly in the second half, we helped Hartfield kind of be able to put themselves in a position to win a football game. And I'm not taking anything away from what they did during the course of the game. I'm just saying we felt like we realized we had some things that we had to clean up. And, you know, this week is obviously about getting ready for MRA, but it's also about getting us playing back at a high level. We got to be more consistent playing at a high level. We've shown some glimpses of being a really, really good football team.
Well, and in saying that, I would be consistent. When you say consistent is play a first half and a second half.
Yes, sir.
And they should match each other, and you should walk out with a win.
Absolutely. And, you know, first half kind of went our way. It was a struggle. I mean, it was
statistically we whipped them.
It was a competitive football game. We had a 17-14 lead. I can make an argument that it should have been 24-14, but you know, mistakes happen, things happen, and those are things that we gotta shore up. Again, congratulations to Hartfield. They're a really good football team. They're sitting at 10-0. They're in the driver's seat. Probably going to be the number 1 seed. Unless something really freaky happens, they're going to be the number 1 seed. But that's okay. Hey,
that really puts a lot on this game.
Oh,
whoever wins this game is going to get the number 2 seed, correct?
Should get the number 2
seed. It.
Yes, I mean
both have one game after this.
You both have one game after this.
But you're playing for that bye.
We're playing for the bye
at home.
At home, exactly. So, you know, it's certainly a big ball game. But before we can move on to MRA on Monday, we had to clean up the things that we needed to get corrected. And you know, I think we got that done by about 7:30 in the morning, and it's been all MRA.
How's their attitude? You said it's been all MRA, but how was their attitude coming in to sit down with the coaching staff to point out what they had done wrong, mistakes they'd made? I mean, do they take that criticism well?
Yes, they do.
And it's not criticism; it's instruction.
Yeah, I mean, and there's just things that have to be cleaned up. And you know, when you're playing in the game, and maybe even if you're a young man or sometimes even a coach, and you're watching it for the first time, you know, you're thinking, hey, we did our best. We did. And then when you really get to looking at it, you realize, hey, we've got to do better at, you know, making our assignments and blocking the folks that we need to block and making catches when there's catches to be made.
Right.
And so, you know, you get those things cleaned up first. And I tell you what, our kids want to be successful. And so because of that, I think they've been very open to coaching and have taken it well. And I think we've got that part cleaned up, and so I'm excited about that.
I asked Coach Crosby, you know, I said, weren't we over there last year? And he said, yeah. He said, that's just the way that they made us go back again this year. And so the schedule didn't play in our favor as far as they are concerned. Does it make any difference? I mean, they're not that far from us. I mean, does it make that much difference where they're playing this game?
I don't really think so. You know, the way every 2 years realignment happens. Park Lane fell out. Who moved up?
St. Joe
St.
moved
Joe
up,
moved
right.
up this year. And so then the schedule just, it sometimes, sometimes it does what it is. I don't really think it makes any difference where we play this particular game. Look, they probably watched every snap that we've taken this year. We've watched every snap that they've taken this
It's
year.
X's and O's.
It's
tackling and blocking.
It's tackling and block. Who's going to come out and execute on Friday
That's
night?
right. Who wants it?
At the end of the day, that's what this game will come down to.
Let me go back. Something I noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I want you to, but it appeared to me that there was a lot of shirt grabbing of our receivers last week. Now, how much of that is allowed, and how much of it is not allowed?
Well, it depends on what side of the ball you're coaching on. Last year, I was coaching on the defensive side of the ball, so I didn't mind some of that shirt grabbing so much.
Did you notice it the other night?
Yes, I did. We all did. But now, coaching on the offensive side of the ball, I don't really like all that shirt grabbing nearly as much. But, look, the officials have a tough job to do. And, look, I believe with all my heart they do the best that they can every single Friday night. And, look, at the end of the day, some of that's just part of football.
Sure it is.
Look, I'm going to tell you something, because I coached defensive backs here last year. We're going collision receivers, and we're going to get called for some defensive pass interference, sometimes because of our aggressive style of play. But I will tell you, when you play teams like Hartfield that have really good athletes and MRA that we're about to play, if you're allowing those guys to have free releases coming off the ball and you're not collision receivers, you're not going to give yourself a chance to be able to
they're
defend
faster than
those.
you are.
Well,
And they know where they're going, and the D-backs don't.
But I will also tell you that teams that don't collision our receivers coming off the football, we're going to light you up. We're going to torch you. So some of that, it just goes on. You wish they would be a little more consistent with how they interpret pass interference and defensive holding in particular. But you just can't leave it in the hands of the officials.
Well, I haven't seen him this week, Hayden Frazier, but he does lead the league in touchdowns that have been called back. I'm sure that's got to be frustrating to him because they've been some pretty spectacular catches and runs after the catch that he's made, and maybe there was a penalty that was away from the ball.
Yes, and that's that's very frustrating. But some of that just comes from being a disciplined football player. If you see a guy who's making a big play, you don't necessarily have to find somebody to hit. Even if it's legal, sometimes nowadays with defenseless players and all that, you kind of lead yourself to get those type of penalties like that. Now you love seeing guys that are hustling downfield trying to make a block to spring a guy. But Hayden Frazier has been a really good wide receiver for us this year. He has made big-time catches in every game that we've played.
Some real big first down catches.
Big first downs, moving the chains. And, he's really done a good job for us this year at wide receiver.
He may be one of those kids. We talk about it every year that you got a roster of 80-something kids. One of those guys is going to step out and do something that you didn't expect.
Yes, sir.
And he may be that kid for us this year.
And I thought going in that he would be really good. But I look at every game that we played, and he's had some – maybe not just a ton of catches, but he's had very big catches that were very impactful in the outcome of the game or outcome of a drive.
One thing that I feel good about, and I'm sure the coaching staff does too, is our kicking game. So out of nowhere, here comes Eli Adams, and he's a place kicker and doing well in that, and all of a sudden Trey Bryant goes down, and Eli's got a punt, and I think he averaged about 36 or 37 the other night.
I will tell you, Eli was big for us Friday night. Obviously kicked a field goal. They gave us points, perfect on PAT. Now, there's a lot of parts that go into that to being successful, but what I really liked was they had two very dynamic return guys back there, and so we had a very specific plan of trying to sky kick it and give our guys time to run down. And you have to be very, very accurate with what you're doing. And I thought Eli really did a great job with that. And then the punt team stuff that he did, flipped the field for us several times. And, he was a special teams player of the week for this past football game, and rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
And he's been big all year for us. One thing I will say about Eli, just kind of a shout out to him, he works really hard at his craft. He's a player. He's got probably 8 balls in his own little bag, and constantly kicking. He works at it. And I think that having Coach Bryant, a former NFL
Yeah,
kicker,
that doesn't hurt.
a little bit. And he's a coachable guy. So I'm very proud of what Eli's done for us this year.
Well, we're really missing Trey Bryant. Speaking of Coach Bryant, we're missing Trey, and I'm assuming he's out for the year.
He's out for the year. He had shoulder surgery, and I know he was hoping that maybe playoff time, but right now, although the surgery went well and the rehab is going well, I think he's ahead of schedule. But I do think that he's out for the year. But he had only got to play 2 or 3 games before he got hurt, and he really was a big part of our football team. He was obviously a very good defensive player for us, but he also played an important role on offense for us.
Yes.
And he was
kind of a tight end,
fullback,
slot.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
He really did. And then of course in the special teams. So.
Well, we certainly miss him. As we wrap this up now, it'll be over at MRA Friday night at 7 o'clock. What do they do, very quickly, we got about a half minute, what do they do that concerns you the most?
Well, they're very active on defense. I'll say that. They're going to give us multiple looks. They're going to blitz us every opportunity that they get. And then on offense, for us, again, a lot of it's going to go back to, can we collision the receivers? Can we keep them in front of us? Can we defend the run and the pass? And, we always play them pretty tough. They score a lot of points against everybody else.
Yeah.
And hopefully, we'll be able to kind of contain that. And then it's just matching blow for blow. There's going to be a lot of punches thrown, and you got to kind of weather the storm and keep punching back.
Well, we certainly hope that is the case. Matt Butts, we appreciate you coming by and talking with us tonight, a little football as we get ready for MRA. We will take a time out and be back with more Prep Talk in a moment.
Part of the enjoyment for me is interacting with patients.
I feel like we form a close bond with the patient as they're going through their ailment, their surgery, and their recovery.
As well as the new building, we now have our own physical therapy and our own surgery center.
I think sometimes you take for granted how vulnerable patients are. Enormous amount of trust they're putting in us to do the right thing.
You want the people you're operating on to trust you, you want to become friends with them, and you want them to have a good outcome.
Here at Capital Ortho, we look forward to seeing you and treating you.
The Tire Depot, with locations on Old Fannin Road in Brandon and on Terry Road in Byram, they're your neighbors and they appreciate your business. More than just a tire store, they offer alignments, brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, shocks, struts, leveling kits, and a whole lot more. They are family owned and operated. All of their techs have 20 years or more of experience. The Tire Depot, owned and operated by a Jackson Prep family.
Visit Eric Stallworth at Acura of Jackson, 828 Adcock Street, Ridgeland, Mississippi, 601-978-2228.
Hi, Chuck Smith here from Smith Brothers Body Shop. Smith Brothers has been proudly serving the Jackson metro area since 1946. We consider you to be our friend to ensure the best experience possible. If you've chosen a body shop in the past because they were right around the corner and had a bad experience, or you've been treated poorly elsewhere, come see what a difference quality service can make at Smith Brothers Body Shop. Call us at 601-353-5217. At Smith Brothers, you're more than a number. Smith Brothers Body Shop, the best from us to you.
Visit your local Dunkin' at 403 Riverwind Drive in Pearl.
Discover the power of a radiant smile at Reservoir Smiles Dentistry, your ultimate destination for complete dental care. Dr. Amy Schamberger and her dedicated team specialize in a range of services to cater for all your dental needs. From essential general dentistry to transformative cosmetic dentistry, they've got you covered. They offer same-day crowns, teeth whitening treatments, Invisalign and Botox treatments, because a confident smile goes hand in hand with a radiant face. Your journey to a perfect smile begins at Reservoir Smiles.
Welcome back to Prep Talk. You know, we've been talking a little volleyball here in the last couple of weeks, and this past week, Lauren Markle took her volleyball team over to Mississippi College to participate in the playoffs, and what a job she and the girls did this year. They did lose in the semifinal game to JA, no shame in that, but Kennedy Cleveland and Reagan Reed filed this report on what was a very exciting volleyball championship.
Hey, my name's Kennedy Cleveland, and I'm here with Ellie White, one of our Jackson Prep volleyball stars. And Ellie, before we get to the topic of playoffs, will you tell us a little bit about how this season has been as a whole?
We've had some ups and downs this season, but it's been great, and it's been a really fun year. So, yeah.
Okay, and so our playoffs were this past week, which we came third. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about that game against PCS? Was it hard, easy?
It was a battle. We went all the way to 5 sets, and we won. It barely won, but we fought for every point, and it was great.
Those are the best kinds of wins. So were y'all expected to win or lose that match?
I would say PCS is our closest opponent. We were pretty evenly matched, so it was just whoever wanted it more.
Oh, I see what you're saying. And so your next game, you played JA, right? Was that a bad game, good game?
It was actually a really good game. We took them past 25 points in the last 2 sets. We unfortunately didn't get a set, but we fought really hard and played the best, I would say the best volleyball we've played all year.
Well, good. I think that's all that matters, really.
Yeah.
And so it's your senior year. Are you sad about leaving volleyball?
I am sad it's over. I've been doing it for 8 years, so it just doesn't feel real.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And so we're going to college. Do you have any big or small plans to still be playing volleyball in the future?
I might play intramural. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes.
Okay, well, that sounds so fun. Thank you, Ellie.
Of course.
I'm now here with Carson Mallard, our residing libero. And Carson, for those who don't know, and mainly for me, will you tell us a little bit about what a libero does?
So, do you want me to hold it?
Sure.
Okay, so basically a libero is like a defensive specialist. So she wears a different color jersey and everything. So she rarely comes off the court, but only for sometimes. So it's just special rules and just defense specialists. It means I'm awesome, basically.
Right. So basically you're just really important.
I'm just awesome.
Okay. And so will you tell us a little bit about how this season has been as a whole, good, bad?
It's actually been very good season. I mean, all of our seniors contributed a lot this year, and I mean, it's really going to suck that they're all leaving, but it's a really, really good year. And our playoffs went really well.
Right. So speaking of seniors in that they are leaving next year, how do you think that your senior season, so next year, is going to go for you?
I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, a lot of the girls coming up are really good. It's just we're losing a lot of talent and everything with all the seniors. So I mean, it's gonna be sad, but I think we'll be okay.
No, for sure. And so your playoffs were this past Tuesday, and you came third. Congratulations. Tell us a little bit about how that match against PCS went, and then following how your match against JA went.
So the PCS one went to 5 sets, which is the most you can go in volleyball. So, I mean, it's a 2-hour game, I want to say. Yeah. It was really hard, but it was really fun because, just playing, all that volleyball is just, so much fun. But then the JA game, totally could have won that. But JA is just, really good, which is so annoying. But, I mean, we all played really well. It was just, it was a really good game.
Right. Yeah, Ellie said that y'all all played your best, and which I think is even more rewarding almost than, I mean, obviously winning would have been great, but you can go down knowing you did your best, for sure. Okay. Well, thank you, Carson. I'm now here with our head volleyball coach, Coach Markle. And Coach Markle, will you tell us a little bit about how this year has gone as a whole?
Yeah, so we just finished up season, and we ended up 16-12. And it was a really good season. We had some ups and downs in it, but it was all kind of a building process, I would say. Every time that we played somebody, we tried to learn from it, and I didn't let them just kind of get relaxed or settle. You know, even though we beat somebody, I would still give them notes or give them things that we could improve on. So, and all that is kind of driving toward the end of the season.
Right, good. And so, speaking of improvements, what do you think our volleyball team could improve on the most for next season?
I just think definitely if more of them can play club and play competitively year-round, that will always help our program out. And then having kids younger start. So now we have the lower school. I would love for some of the lower school kids to get interested in volleyball. And I'm going to try and do something for them. I know I have a camp this summer that is for the lower school age. And for returners, we're going to be lifting in the off season. So I have to get with Coach Drew and figure out a schedule for them that might work. But that's coming. Don't worry. So.
And how big of an impact do you think? So we have a lot of pretty good seniors graduating. How big of an impact do you think that's going to have on next season?
It's going to have a large impact. There's really no way around it. So this is going to be 2 years in a row that Prep is losing a large senior class. So it's great to have. On the flip side, I love having big classes. It means that kids are staying in volleyball, that they're staying and sticking it through. And that's what you want to see. You want to have large senior classes. It's a great thing, but on the end of the season, the flip side is that you have a lot of shoes to fill. So we are losing like 2 all the way around rotation positions. And, you know, honestly, it might take 4 people to fill those, but we can fill them. We're going to be able to do it. So I've already thought about all this because it's just the way that I am. I've already written out possible lineups for next year and what we might need. So you kind of always need to be paying attention to that. But I didn't really start thinking about that till really late in the season because I try and stay focused on the current season. Yeah.
And this past Tuesday were the playoffs, and we came third. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your view as a coach on those games, were specifically PCS and JA.
Yeah. So we had almost the exact same schedule as last year. So we had PCS quarterfinals and then JA semifinals. Difference this year was that we were actually the lower seed going in against PCS. So the girls didn't seem worried about it, which helped me feel a lot better.
Right.
We were actually 1-2 against them during season. And the time that we beat them, they were down their libero, which is kind of a big player. And I knew that. And so then when we played them the second time, I tried to have a game plan, like telling them like, hey, this isn't going to be the same team you saw before. Right. And they didn't quite believe me, which is okay. That's part of like trusting each other and learning through the season. So part of me feels like that game that we played them at home didn't maybe go as well, so we could learn and know and be better for playoffs. So to me, it kind of paid off. So Monday's game ended up going to 5 sets. We won the first set, lost the next 2, and then won the next 2 because you have to win 3 in volleyball. But one huge thing was that there are 2 courts going on during the quarterfinals and semifinals. Yeah, 2 courts. So it got really loud on the court next to us, and I kind of noticed that that's when we lost the 2 sets. So we were just kind of losing focus. They were looking over there a little bit. So, and even I was tempted to kind of look and be like, what is going on? Come to find out, that game wasn't even close. So I was like, what? Okay. But so once that game ended over there, we won the next 2 sets. So thinking about things to improve on, that would be something probably going into playoffs next year that I would try and simulate or something, because we kind of struggled a little bit with that other court going on. Yeah.
And I heard from Ellie and Carson earlier that they both thought that our team played the best they've played all season against JA and against PCS, but more specifically against JA. Do you, from a coach's perspective, do you agree with them?
110%. I can't be any more proud of them.
And Ellie.
Hello, I'm Jason Womack with Womack Auto Sales in downtown Brandon.
We've been here for 25 years serving the community, and we plan on being here for another 25 years.
Came to Womack in Brandon. I was looking for a Tahoe. Walked in, the folks were good to me. Hey, look how I ended up leaving. New Tahoe.
Womack's Auto Sales helped me finance the truck of my dreams.
Come out and take a look at our new facility and meet our staff.
Take exit 56 to downtown Brandon. And remember, at Womack's, your job is your credit.
Malone is a company in motion, delivering award-winning roofing, metal walls, and maintenance. With the use of Suprema products like Alsan liquid flashings, Alsan coating products, and more, Malone continues to prove there is nothing we can't accomplish. Protecting people and what matters to you.
Ferguson and Associates Architecture is a new generation architectural firm that combines state-of-the-art ideas and solutions with years of experience managing demanding projects. As a full-service architecture firm, Ferguson and Associates provides a complete range of architectural services. They plan, design, and manage the build. From creative concept to ribbon cutting, they're there to ensure your success. Visit their website at fergusonarchitecture.net for more information or contact them directly at 601-607-7933.
Well, that'll put a wrap on this week's show as Prep Talk comes to an end. I want to remind you of a couple of things. First of all, if you haven't got your tickets yet to the musical My Fair Lady, you're going to want to get them. Go to jacksonprep.net /box office. And then this is kind of a dead week here. This is the time of year where a lot of the fall sports have ended. But it really gets kicked off. The winter sports get kicked off in earnest as we get toward November the 1st, as girls and boys basketball start up, and boys soccer will be kicking off, no pun intended. And of course, you'll have the football playoffs during all of that. So this is kind of the quiet weekend in between, which is why we don't have as many stories as we normally would. But we're glad that you joined us tonight, and we hope that you join us each and every week for another edition of Prep Talk.